Forget basic bread and cheese. Medieval royalty dined like gods, from rare imports guarded like treasure to dishes so complex they required their own rituals. Food was far more than fuel. It was power. It was pageantry. It was politics. Eggs weren't just breakfast. They were royal building blocks of luxury cuisine. Boiled, baked, stuffed with saffron and almond milk, or wrapped in gold leaf, eggs symbolised fertility and divine favour. Special breeds of hens were kept just for royal households. Some kitchens used over 1,000 eggs per feast, and egg-based dishes were so prestigious that they often appeared at coronations. Before cow's milk was common in noble diets, almond milk was king. Smooth, rich and shelf-stable, it was used in sauces, stews and desserts. Almond milk was so prized that kings imported almonds by the ton. During Lent, when dairy was banned, almond milk kept royal dishes rich and creamy, without violating religious rules. Aspic was edible art. Meat stock was boiled until it jellied, flavoured with herbs and poured into ornate moulds. Some jellies encased flowers, birds, or whole-cooked fish. Royal chefs crafted illusion foods, gelatinous sculptures that looked like jewelled relics or even landscapes, meant to dazzle guests and intimidate rivals at the table. From cranes to herons, medieval kings hunted or imported exotic birds for their tables. But peacocks were the crown jewel, roasted then dressed in their own plumage and beak. These were served not for taste, but as trophies, a show of dominion over nature and wealth. Swans, meanwhile, were often royal property, marked with ownership notches on their beaks. Eels were fatty, abundant and easy to preserve. Kings consumed them fried, jellied or baked in elaborate pies shaped like dragons or shields. Eels were so valuable, they were used to pay rent and taxes. One English monastery owed the crown over 500,000 eels a year, and you can bet many ended up on royal plates. Pine nuts were small but mighty, used in everything from sauces to sweets. Their subtle, creamy flavour was perfect for rich medieval dishes. Because they had to be laboriously harvested by hand from tough pine cones and transported long distances, pine nuts were more expensive than some spices and treated like edible pearls. These Middle Eastern imports were often mashed into spreads, candies, or added to meat dishes for a sweet savoury mix. Figs were seen as a symbol of wisdom and prosperity. Royal apothecaries praised them as health foods and aphrodisiacs. Kings gifted fig and date treats to favoured allies and visiting envoys as edible diplomacy. Kings loved floral flavours. Rosewater and orange blossom syrups were drizzled over pastries, meats and even rice. They were fragrant, exotic and extremely costly. These ingredients were so luxurious that entire court gardens were devoted to cultivating roses and bitter oranges, solely for royal kitchens and apothecaries. Hippocras was a luxurious spiced wine, enjoyed warm or cold, often served at the end of royal meals. It was made by infusing red or white wine with a mixture of cinnamon, ginger, cloves, sugar, and sometimes rosewater. Named after the ancient physician Hippocrates, this drink was thought to aid digestion and extend life. It was so revered that special Hippocras chambers existed in royal households, and the drink was typically reserved for high-ranking guests. The preparation itself was ceremonial. Wine was filtered through a Hippocrates sleeve, a cone-shaped cloth bag, and presented in silver goblets with great flair. More than candy, marzipan was edible propaganda. Shaped into animals, saints, or entire battle scenes, these almond sugar sculptures were centerpiece desserts for royal banquets. Highly skilled artisans were employed just to make marzipan art. Some pieces were painted with natural dyes and cost more than a knight's yearly salary. To eat like a king in the Middle Ages meant more than full bellies. It meant showing the world your wealth, wisdom, and power.